Alright everybody, welcome to another daily Corey B MTG video. Today we're playing some more standard, of course, here on Arena. We're getting somewhat close to Mythic as well, so that should be pretty fun. And we're going to play this really cool Simic Beans deck, Simic Spells, whatever you want to call it. It's actually been doing quite well, and this deck felt to me what the Honors became. You know, it felt like the Honors deck took a lot of tech from this deck, brought it into the shell that I presume to be better. Still might be the case, you know. CFT, I forget their Magic Online name, but has top aided basically every challenge with Teamer Honors, so it's hard to argue with their results as they dominate over and over as they're one of the team's designers of the deck. But, you know, I think this deck is a lot easier to play. I think it's a lot easier to sideboard with. So I think we might see more results with this deck from the general public. But it's another one of the Storm Chaser talents slash this town ain't big enough for the I always think to say this town ain't big enough for the two of us. This town ain't big enough plus Storm Chaser talent combo, essentially. You know, I mean, once you get enough mana, you're able to just do this every turn and bounce something of theirs every single turn. But the big finish here is we have the Tolarian Terrors and the Eddie Mert Crabs as this way to create big threats. You know, I mean, they're big, they're 5/5s, they're deal withable, but create these big-ish threats that are able to close the game out while we're kind of doing our other stuff. You know, plus up the beanstalk, cheating in a Tolarian Terror, it does still trigger. It triggers off all three of these spells. So the deck looks really sweet to me. So we're just going to get right into it. But before we do that, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Really helps out the channel and helps me doing these videos on a daily basis, as it is a lot of work. It is very time consuming. And one other message, it'll be coming up shortly here. I'm recording this on a Monday. You'll probably see it around Thursday or so. But we're getting close to the time where I'm going to have to take a little break to make sure I get my Arena Championship deck list in. I'm very much taking that seriously. So, you know, the Arena Champs deck list that I choose could be one of these, but, you know, more than likely is not. And I don't want all my competitors to just be able to come to my YouTube channel and see exactly what I'm playing. So at some point you will see a bit of a break from videos until deck lists are due, and then you'll get a lot of the deck I'm playing, plus all the decks I'll be considering. AK, I'll still be recording videos, but I won't be releasing them until deck lists are due, starting pretty soon. We still got a couple more to go. But anyways, before we get into that as well, let's talk about the sponsors here of the stream. First up, KMC sleeves. If you're interested in any of the Hyper Phoenixes or Hyper Matte sleeves, as well as their innards, as well as this really cool deck box right behind me, feel free to use that promo code in the top left corner, and the URL is below if you want to get some KMC product. Really high quality stuff. And speaking of high quality, we got Heavy Play products. If you are interested in any of these products you see behind me, as well as their new Philstone ETB playmats, you can use that promo code and the URL in the top right of your screen to get any of these really amazing products. Big thanks to Heavy Play. Big thanks to KMC for sponsoring this YouTube channel. Let's game. Okay, we're starting it up. Definitely going to be important with this deck. All right, we do only have one land, but we have so many ways to find land that I think this is totally worth it. I'm going to keep now the great decision of which one of these is more correct to play. And I would think it's Sleight of Hand to start, as I just for sure want to land. I actually don't know the merit behind it, to be honest. But that seems correct. I don't know. I think it's so minor it doesn't matter a ton. This is instant speed, so being able to wait till their turn has some merit as well. Ooh, okay. Well, I was going to do something else, and maybe I still should. Yeah, I still will wait. We don't have anything to trigger it yet. Plus, we still, once again, just want a land. See what we're up against. This is probably the Domain deck, which, who knows, could easily be a train wreck or a good matchup. The matchups aren't very obvious to me for this Simic deck, so we shall see. All right, if we get the Terror, it's pretty cheap already, and the Storm Chaser's talent is not exactly what we want yet. So, a bit of a brick. So I can look for a land. or just play a Beanstalk. I think I want to look for a land. I'm going to get a little greedy here. Tilt. The greed did not pay off. I don't want to use this yet. I really want to trigger up the Beanstalk. I could see this being wrong, where I should have just jammed, but I'm getting pretty punished for not just up the Beanstalking right away. But then again, this deck doesn't play that many lands, and this is a fine threat. Okay, so this does look to be the Overlord's deck. I think this is going to be a little popular moving forward, as it's just this cool, new, flashy deck that people tend to really like. Okay, maybe it's a little different, as I don't remember that in there. All right, well, I'm glad we waited on casting this, as now I'm going to just play the Beanstalk, and then next turn we'll get the Terror going, and we'll kind of start trying to put the pedal to the metal. Playing a Terror, then having unsummon for it constantly, I think is going to be the main plan, but we're able to play the Terror, have 2 mana left over, and then play our spells from there. But we did kind of dirtle around a little bit too long, you know? This is supposed to be the turn where I would be doing a little bit more. Okay, this actually isn't that big of a deal, as I can play around it a decent amount. So let's start with that. Let's go with a Hedge Maze. Get rid of that. And we'll say go. Now they can really mess this Zur up. Zur, I played this deck a little bit yesterday. I actually played it in one of the challenges. I did pretty poorly with it. I think I went 3-4. I made some mistakes, but, like, I drew Zur a lot. And when you draw just Zur, it's quite bad if you don't draw the accompaniment with it. So I'm going to take this. See what they want to do. Nothing, huh? So it looks like they might be wanting to destroy this. So I actually think I'm just going to Seed of Hope. Leave Unsummon up. We're kind of tempting them to do this, to be honest. Yeah. And it worked. I could gift them a fish. No. All right. We'll obviously take the land. Okay. Now we're cooking. Now we're kind of really cooking. So, I think I am going to play this because I want to play the crab again. This deck's kind of gas. I'm already excited. And now, like, yeah, we're going to deal with that. We just have so much going on. They each draw a card. I'm just like, yeah, sure, attack. And the Domain deck, let me tell you, like, it's sweet when it does its thing, but when you don't have up the Beanstalk, it looks like this quite often. It looks pretty mediocre. All right. Flash, 2 mana, 5/6, or 5/5. Now I could cash grab, but I don't think it's worth it, because they could technically kill both. Let's see. Their Leyline Bindings are not very cheap. I am going to cash grab. Let's see what they want to do about it. Just get another crab. Crab grab. Yeah, they're just like, what am I going to do? All right, so Domain. Anything that destroys enchantments has got to be good. Anything that negates stuff is usually decent. Same with Pick Your Poison. And that's probably all I very much want. Now, what to take out is the question. You don't want to dilute your main game plan too much, but I think Unsummon can probably go. Oof-da. I don't know how to sideboard with this deck at all, my friends. Am I supposed to be taking out all my bounce spells? They're good at protecting my own creatures, but maybe that's just not important. If I gift them a fish, I can return their, like, leyline bindings and stuff. Which is not terrible. But this town ain't big enough does that as well. I guess it is probably supposed to be these. If I'm bringing in ways to deal with the flyers already, or the enchantments already, that would make sense. And now one last cut. Probably just sleight of hand. Could be analyze the pollen. I do think they might have rest in peace. Yeah, they definitely have rest in peace. So let's do that. As that's a bit of a liability if you don't have the ability to get rid of your graveyard. God, I imagine I'm pretty soft to rest in peace. But we do have anti-enchantment cards. Okay, I think this is fine. Having a cash grab or something like that is a big deal in this deck. Plus the Hedge Mage actually helps a bit too. This is another deck I plan to bring to y'all, but I did play it last night and like I said, just wasn't the most impressed. But I also played pretty bad. But I do think it's a very fun deck. Alright, we're going to say go and just do some cash grabbing. Love to find a beanstalk of our own. Like, their deck's going to look way different with a beanstalk. Like, if they go beanstalk into Overlord here, which it looks like they're going to, then, you know, things just look different. Okay, well, I think just the talent here. These cost 5, which isn't great. Sleight of hand. Yeah, we'll get the land, I think. Sleight of hand. Get the Seed of Hope. And now we could talent. Or we try to Seed of Hope at end step to then start casting our crabs. I think I like that better. But not feeling great as they get to eat 2 of the spells. So best I can do is, you know, add 2 more of those spells back. Yep, 4 mana, put 2 2/1s into play, and draw 2 cards is pretty strong. It's gonna be tough to beat this game. Okay. They do cost 2 right now. Alright, we'll say go. Let's see what they target with this vacuum. Yeah, they didn't get the spell, which seems silly. Yeah, they're going for the wrong things. And I think I just let them hit me here and just double crab them. For sure, single crab. Let's play another one. Because if they do have Leyline Binding or something, we have the enchantment to deal with that. That I don't love, especially if they have a second. Okay, looks like we're dead. Okay, we can at least get another one. Alright, you can get rid of the creatures. Might as well get a Tolarian Terror. And we'll go with a Storm Chaser's Talent, and we'll say go. Not looking great, of course. Ghost Vacuum being quite good against us from their deck. Still gonna need a miracle here. A straight miracle. Now just imagine if we had one Beanstalk in play. I actually don't want to bounce anything of theirs. Bounce my stuff. Yeah, if we had a Beanstalk, we were drawing so many cards. That's just these Beanstalk mirrors in a nutshell, which is not amazing. Okay, well, we might as well cash grab. Maybe if we get a Beanstalk, we might try to start attacking on that avenue. We did, but it's probably too late. Yeah, let's do the thing. Okay. We're clawing back in the sense that we got our card advantage going, but they're going to have an Overlord, plus all their spells pretty much trigger up the Beanstalk, so still looking quite behind. Yep, just casually drawing 4 cards, discarding 1. It does have Ward too, so there's not much they can do to kill it. Guess unless they have Domain, then they can just play a land and Leyline Binding. Okay. So we need to get a counter on this. A negate. I suppose that's okay. We are going to destroy this. Fight this. I guess I can attack now because of the incubate token. Yeah, I think we've been in garbage time for a while, but we'll keep it up. But yeah, I can attack. Maybe I should attack and just hope they don't see it. Which feels like not a smart thing to do. Yeah, we'll just say go. They saw it. Them exiling their own overlords is pretty gross, too. Eventually we can bounce this. If it were to get super threatening, as it's not right now. Yeah, we're gonna pack it in. Waste of time. We can't win this game. Alright, let's hope to get a better hand on the play. Just an up the beanstalk draw is really all we want. I like taking out all the unsummons, though. That has felt good. Alright. Can we get a good draw? I don't think this hand is good enough. We really want a beanstalk draw, so I bet this deck mulligans quite well. Like, this is just perfectly reasonable. So I'm going to keep, let's put one of the talents on the bottom, and we at least have the beanstalk start. Sleight of hand. Hard to be too upset with that one, so we'll try it. Here's our beanstalk. Okay. Now, if anything, we can go bushwhack into cash grab. I like that they don't have a beanstalk. That's a big deal. Okay, I think we'll do that. Just making sure to hit our land drops. Making it so our cash grabs don't have to hit lands. Maybe pick a Tolarian Terror and start being off to the races. They got a beanstalk. Okay. I mean, we have to pick the poison, which is probably going to be used for it. Alright, so... it's pretty cheap. That's going to actually cost 2. That's exactly where we want to be. Ooh. Alright. Well, now I think I want to cast that. Get my value. Land? Could get risky, but I don't think it's worth it. Alright, we're gonna make them sacrifice an enchantment. Now, we hope they don't have lockdown, but I guess if they do, it's not the worst to just start bouncing it over and over. Okay. It's pretty good. Might have to start doing the talent, this town ain't big enough trick instead of doing this if they sack the lantern. Sure. Okay. So, let's go like this. Do I want to bounce their beanstalk? Maybe just one? Alright. I'm gonna just bounce my Storm Chaser's talent. Land? Come on. Alright, I guess I'm done. This deck does not run many lands. I get it. You really can't, but any land here we would have been pretty set. Still looking okay, depending on what they do here. Okay. Now we can, this town ain't big enough. The beanstalk and something of ours. And then make them sacrifice this. It's not the worst. Or we just start with the spells and tap this. We'd need a decent amount of spells. Alright, let's start with this. Sack an enchantment. Either way, they got some good enchantments. Alright, now we're going to attack, see if we can get them. Alright, we did not. We already played a land. Do think I just want to play the Storm Chaser's talent. And then we'll say go. See what they do. But more than likely, we're just going to... This town ain't big enough, these two. If they want to spend their whole turn redrawing, that's okay. We are a tempo deck in some regards. Alright. Draw 2. Kind of draw 3 as the talent comes back. Another spell to the yard. So now the Seed of Hope plus Sleight of Hand will allow us to cast the Crab for 2 next turn. It's kind of what you want to get to, is if you start casting those for just 1 pip or 2 pip, you feel pretty good. Okay, we're no longer flooded. And now these otters actually can do some damage. Okay. Third beings. Okay. Alrighty, so I think we can start with this. Brick. Okay. Okay. I think we're just gonna kind of pop off here. Negate or crab? I think I'd rather have a crab. As they pretty much have to wrap the board already. Then we just start crabbing. That's fine with me. Take 4, say go. Now I'll start putting 2 mana 5/5s that draw 2 cards. Zer, okay. That's pretty good. That's really good. As I can't tap that down, so I have to let this go. Have to take it. Huge life swing. All right, we'll play this. It's gonna be a tough game to win. Definitely have to get rid of this. I don't know how, though. Maybe I'd rather they chump with Zur. Sure. Not looking good. Really not looking good. Weird that they got that. Well, gotta find something else. Okay. That is a big deal. Now, any way I can kill them? I doubt it. If I bounce this, I can get these up to 4 power. Maybe 5, that'll be 15. I don't think they'll block. And we'll go from here. Damn. We could try to this town ain't big enough to hit a spell. It's prob's not worth it though. Alright, so in that case we just have to let this happen. And we have to say go, we have to wait till we're in combat and shut off Zur. Or stop after they've attacked, maybe. Yeah, I think I have to stop after they attack. Alright, this town ain't big enough for these two things. And I'll take it. Well, I think we might have won the game if we would have went for it last turn. I kind of forgot Bushwhack would have been a good answer for that, but that's okay. We'll see what they do. That's a-okay. These otters might go absolutely cray-cray. Okay. Alright, well, let's cast this. Tap down these. Okay, that's basically all they can do. I don't think that's going to be enough. We just got to get these up to a pretty easy amount here. So we start with this. I think we're going to win a sick game here. I mean, yeah, that's already 9. We don't have to play that many more spells. I think we played this pretty tight. 4, 8, 13. One more spell. And we have the backup. Alright, that's 15. Yeah, we did it! We did it! Holy cow, maybe our opponent got a little aggressive there, or maybe we played extremely tight. Either way, it wasn't maybe the most interactive I've been on a video, as I really wanted to think that one through, but hey, I mean, that's a big step, is being able to go toe-to-toe with this domain deck. To be fair, whoever landed the more beanstalks just ended up winning every game, but yeah, whatever. Sometimes that's standard, so let's battle. Let's get to tier 2. Is it extremely good? Who knows, but it's been really fun. All right, we have the setup cards. We have the Tolarian Terrors. I'm a fan so far. All right, this is probably Dimir. This will be a nice test, as I just think this is the best deck right now. I don't love that it's the best deck. I'm going to play this now because I don't want it to get countered. So, only up to 3 spells. I think the 5/5s that they can't kill are much better, so the Tolarian Terrors are going to be excellent. And we'll see what we can do for next turn. Oh, okay, this is something different. That's too bad, I wanted to play against Dimir. Okay, so it's just Oculus, but Dimir Oculus. Sure. Let's see what we can get. All right, that made those cost 2. That's perfect. So now we have the pick of the litter. Either we play the Tolarian Terror or the Crabs, and I think it's Terror time. And now next turn, we'll just play 2 more 5/5s. Like, we don't have the bean draw or anything, which I'd still prefer, but, you know, we're kind of doing it outside of that. And, yeah, their Anoints and their Cutdowns are going to look really sad. Honestly, their Oculus is not even going to look that good either. They can play one. Right. So they don't have the way to return these spells. Okay, just a lot of spinning their wheels. Next turn's a very easy attack for 5. Play Tolarian Terror. And be on our way. And now we just have lethal next turn. Turn 5. Wow, is this deck broken? Is this deck actually broken? What is that? Okay, so there's their reanimate spell. 3 lives if it targets a creature with 3 or less. So they're bringing their Huati Djinn back. Sure. You have a Huati Djinn. Okay. Sure. Maybe I should have crabbed there. I think this is fine. I'm for sure gonna crab here. Tap that down. Checks out. Okay, so I would love to slide into a beanstalk here, so I'm going to do that first. Didn't happen. Now, there's nothing that can give me the win straight away. So I probably just want to cash grab here. Because I want to hold up this for sure. So let's cash grab now. We're trying to be mana efficient, essentially. Alright. Easy choice. We're not going to play it, I don't think. Well, it's not the worst idea. Do we think we're going to get one-shotted by this? Not really. But protecting our card seems good if they do try to kill it. Alright, that's the tiebreaker. On the other hand, playing this plus that is good. I mean, they could maybe kill one of these tops. Alright. I actually changed my mind. I should have sleight of hand now first, but... yeah, maybe I wouldn't have played that. Alright, regardless, we'll take this. Yeah, I should have slided first, because I would have got that and maybe said go. That's alright. They can't kill both terrors here. I think it's the main reason I feel somewhat prepared to say go. And then I just bounce 2 creatures and attack. I wonder how this deck fares against red decks. I bet that would be the weakness. Okay. So they get to take one of the bounce spells. And realistically, we have a bounce spell on legs right here. Or a bushwhack. So now we can go Floodmaw, and if we draw a land, we could double Floodmaw. This deck is sweet. What do they got? I mean, they gotta kill a Tolarian Terror and counter this into the Floodmaw. They need a lot here. An Oculus would be a decent start, as that just represents a decent amount of bodies, but yeah, I mean, they're dead to a land now. Untap land. So let's definitely bounce something. How many cards are in there? Plenty to exile. So which one do I want in their graveyard is really the main question. And I think I'd rather have the Huadijin in the graveyard. So let's bounce this. And now they have to block both of these, so we'll attack. Their blocks are forced once they realize it. But now it does get a little dicey where I think I'm forced to return something this turn, like if this town ain't big enough. But then if they just untap and go for the throat this, they're kind of at parity. So let's see what we're going to draw. That's pretty good. Okay, that's excellent, as that gets us a crab. So we're going to keep that, and we are going to do this to just force them to deal with the card in our hand as well. We're just hitting them with so many angles here. And now, if anything, if they deal with the crab with like a go for the throat plus ward, then I just play 2 spells. So I should have lethal in multiples of ways. Yep. So now I can just go like this. Bounce 1. They were just dead on board to that. Easy game. Okay, Dimir Oculus. Interesting. Definitely bringing our ghost vacuums. Definitely bringing our patchworks. No. Yes. I don't think I need unable to scream against them or really a negate. Now, our bounce spells, I feel like this is kind of what I should be trimming all the time. I don't want to... fighting is not the best. As we have 5/5s, they have 5/5s or bigger, usually. Wonder if I'm ever supposed to cut Storm Chaser's talent. Dimir. I can cut one more into the Flood Maw. Maybe some Seed of Hopes. They seem like the worst cantrip, but it's close. It's close. Those and Sleight of Hand are very similar. I mean, the fact that you can miss with Seed of Hope is pretty awkward, but this is a tough deck to sideboard with. Everything feels like you kind of need, so you just have to trim, but... Alright, I'm going to keep. Ghost Vacuum against them is very good. Now, if we don't get to rest, well, I could make them get rid of that. That seems good to me. Because I hate that card. Alright. Get that vacuum out of there. Alright, now I can Ghost Vacuum. Now they can have a counter spell for my Ghost Vacuum. But I still think I probably should be jamming. Definitely want to play this and bait if they have a counter spell worth doing. Because it could easily just be a Picklock Prankster and then they reanimate next turn. So I absolutely have to go for it. And God, I hope they counter that. That was bait. Here's the vacuum. Okay. They have... I mean, that seems like a great card against us, realistically.
I'll have this fight finished before brunch. Drop it.
Drop it. Okay. Let's slight. We really want to find, like, an Up the Beanstalk. Actually, that was pretty good. So, now we'll say go. And we'll discard this. And then right before that ticks up to ultimate, we'll be able to attack it, ideally.
Smarting me.
Okay. So, Up the Beanstalk seems like the card I pretty much always want. Okay. Now I would love a land. Since we didn't find one, feel like I want a Beanstalk. I don't want to just discard the beans. Is it the worst deal if this ultimates? It's honestly not completely detrimental. Okay. I could just discard this or get a land and play it. I think I'd rather just discard it. Alright. Stupid Liliana. Now I guess I'll be able to play both of my creatures next turn.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
They are running out of stuff too. Wow. Okay. That seems great. I wonder, do I just start with that? No, I think I'll start with this and probably do it at their upkeep. Alright, now it's no big deal if they just kill the terror with that. Alright, that was pretty nice. I was like, dang, I should have more answers to a Liliana, but I forget. This town ain't big enough is a great answer for that card. Yep.
Those who get in my way tend to regret it.
Do they, Liliana?
Ah, one of your friends has to leave.
Alright, I am going to get... I guess these are good for exiling, but otherwise they're just going to be 1/1s coming back from the ghost. I think it's worth it, I guess. Okay, here's this. Here's this. And we'll say go discard the bushwhack. I think I'd rather have the land here. Kiora. No big deal, they're never getting the threshold. Now I can play the crab in response to at least draw a card. Alright, this deck is sweet. Don't need another vacuum, so I'm glad we did that.
Don't overthink things.
There goes the Oculus. That's a card I'll eat. Okay. Always start with up the beanstalk whenever we can, pretty much. Oh, we're doing it. Beanstalk into terror was absurd. Okay. Now we don't need another spell, but I would like this dead. So if I want that, it doesn't matter. When it doesn't have threshold, it literally doesn't matter. So, all right. Let's go attack here, attack you. Okay, I'm not really afraid of anything else, so I guess I'm gonna do this.
Favors the foolish, after all.
Your go. Is there anything I want to get rid of right away? No, not really. I guess they could make an 8/8 if they get 3 more cards in their yard. Two more cards. Sure. Now we kill both those and they're dead? Yeah. I mean, it kind of felt like I was in control of both matches for a good chunk of the time. The domain got a little close, but regardless, this deck's real. I'm going to test this a little bit more, as that was a lot of fun to play too. So let me know what you think of this deck below, y'all. Is this just better than Otters? Seems like it. I mean, there's not a lot of Otters that are going deep in tournaments, except for the Sanctum of All Players, CFT. I think that's Ray Zhang, but you can't quote me on that, as I'm not positive. But besides that gamer who dominates the challenges with Temur Otters, a lot of other people aren't doing well, myself included, and I thought that was going to be the blade of a deck. Maybe this is the one for me, as I love Up the Beanstalks. I love cheating cards into play. And this town ain't big enough, with Tolarian Terrors and stuff, is really nice. Tolarian Terror, quite a Magic card. So just the 2 matches today, y'all, as we're already pushing the hour mark. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.